Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In a previous video lecture, we have studied the magnetic boundary conditions. In today's video lecture, we will discuss about the Poynting theorem, and after that we will see the uniform plane waves. So let us start with the first point, that is Poynting theorem. We know that the electromagnetic waves travel from source to the destination, and these waves transfer the energy from that source to the destination. Okay, so there is a direct relation between this energy transfer and the electric field as well as the magnetic field. So this relationship is given by the Poynting theorem. So the vector product of electric field intensity, that is E bar, and magnetic field intensity, that is H bar, at any point is the measure of rate of energy float at that point. So we can say the direction of this energy flow is in the direction of vector E bar cross H bar, and this direction is perpendicular to both E bar and H bar. So mathematically this Poynting theorem can be written as P bar is equal to E bar cross H bar, and the unit of this P bar is volt ampere per meter square or watt per meter square. So here this P bar is nothing but power flow, E bar is the electric field intensity, and H bar is the magnetic field intensity. Okay, then we know that according to the Maxwell equation for time varying field, del cross H bar is equal to J bar plus dou D bar upon dou T. So using this equation we can calculate here the value of this J bar, that is J bar is equal to, the left hand side is as it is, that is del into H bar, and this plus dou D bar upon dou T gets shifted to the left hand side and it becomes minus of dou D bar upon dou T. Okay, in the next step we have to take the dot product of both the sides. That means if we take here the dot product, then it will become E bar into J bar. This is the J bar, and E bar dot J bar is equal to E bar dot, the right hand side term is as it is, that is del into H bar minus of dou D bar upon dou T. So we have to take here dot product with respect to E bar, hence the equation becomes E bar dot J bar is equal to E bar into del cross H bar minus E bar into dou D bar upon dou T. Okay, then we have the vector identity. We know that this E bar dot del into H bar is equal to H bar in bracket del into E bar minus del dot E bar cross H bar. So here in equation number 1, suppose this is your equation number 1, here we know that the value of this E bar dot del into H bar is nothing but this equation, that is equation number 2. So we have to put this in equation number 1. So we'll get left hand side E bar dot J bar as it is equal to the value of this E bar into del cross H bar is H bar dot del into E bar minus del dot E bar cross H bar, and the minus the remaining term is as it is, that is E bar into dou D bar upon dou T. Okay, so we will get here equation number 3. Then according to the D bar, we know that D bar is nothing but epsilon into E bar. So we have to write the equation in terms of E bar, that is E bar into J bar as it is equal to H bar into del cross E bar as it is minus this del into E bar cross H bar is as it is minus this D bar is nothing but epsilon into E bar, that is dou by dou T. The value of this T bar is epsilon into E bar. Okay, then after that, according to the Maxwell equation, we have del into E bar is equal to minus dou B bar upon dou T. and again we know that this b bar is nothing but mu into h bar. So instead of this b bar, we can write del cross E bar is equal to minus dou by dou t into the value of b bar is mu into h bar. Okay, so in previous equation we have the term this del into E bar, and the value of this del into E bar is minus dou by dou t into mu h bar. So in next equation we have to put this value in the previous equation, that is E bar dot h bar is as it is, that is equal to our left hand side, and at the right hand side the value of h bar is as it is, and the product of this del and E bar is given by this equation minus dou by dou t into mu into h bar minus of all the remaining terms are as it is, that is del into E bar cross h bar minus E bar dot dou by dou t epsilon into E bar. Okay, so these terms are as it is. Next term, we have to simplify this equation, that is E bar dot j bar is equal to minus of mu h bar dot dou by dou t h bar, then minus of del E bar cross h bar as it is minus epsilon E bar into dou by dou t of E bar. Okay, so here let us consider the term dou by dou t h bar into h bar can be expressed as h bar dot dou h bar upon dou t plus h bar dot dou h bar upon dou t, and this h bar dot h bar becomes h square. So we can write dou by dou t h bar dot h bar is h square is equal to this h bar dot dou h bar dou t plus h bar dot dou h bar upon dou t is equal to 2h bar into dou h upon dou t. So here we have to just shift the value of this 2 to the left hand side. So this will become h bar dot dou h bar upon dou t is equal to 1 by 2 into dou h square upon dou t. Okay, so here we can see we have calculated here the value of E bar dot j bar, that is minus of mu by 2 dou h square upon dou t, because we know that here the value of this h bar is 1 by 2 dou h square upon dou t, so we have to put directly into this equation, that is minus of mu by 2 dou h square by dou t minus del into E bar cross h bar minus epsilon by 2 dou E square by dou t. So again at the left hand side E bar dot j bar is as it is, then at the right hand side minus of mu by 2 dou h square by dou t minus epsilon by 2 dou E square by dou t minus del of E bar into h bar. So here from this equation we can take the dou by dou t as a common term, so that is E bar dot h bar is equal to minus dou by dou t in bracket mu h square by 2 plus epsilon E square by 2 minus of del into E bar cross h bar. Okay, so here taking the volume integration of this equation, then we'll get integration over the closed volume E bar dot j bar dv is equal to minus of dou by dou t, then integration over the closed volume v inside integration mu h square by 2 plus epsilon E square by 2 dv minus integration of del into E bar cross h bar into dv. Okay, but according to the divergence theorem, the last term can be changed from volume to surface integration, that is integration over closed volume v del into E bar cross h bar dv is equal to integration over the closed surface E bar cross H bar into ds bar. Okay, so we can write the equation of this del into E bar into H bar dV as the integration of E bar cross H bar into ds bar. That means we can change this volume integration into the surface integration. So putting this, the value of this equation in the previous one, will get integration of E bar into J bar dV, that is left hand side term is as it is equal to dou by dou t integration of mu h bar by 2 plus epsilon E square by 2 dV minus the value of this volume integration is surface integration E bar cross H bar into ds bar. Okay, so from this equation we can observe that the term on LHS indicates the instantaneous power flow in the volume V, that is nothing but integration of V E bar dot J bar into dV, and the first term on RHS indicates the stored energy in the volume. So here this negative sign indicates that the stored energy is decreasing, that is minus of dou by dou t term, and the last term indicates that the total power flowing in the volume is integration over closed surface E bar cross H bar dot ds bar. So the cross product of this E bar and H bar is called as the Poynting vector. Then the next point is concept of uniform plane wave. So here first of all we should know what is mean by plane wave, and second uniform plane wave. So let us see first plane wave. So for the wave, if the plane wave of all the points on the plane surface is same, then we can say it is called as a plane wave. That means all the points on a plane surface should be same. Okay, and in second, that is uniform plane wave. Here if the amplitude is constant over the plane surface, then we can say it is called as uniform plane wave. Okay, that means in case of plane wave, all the points on a plane surface is same, and for uniform plane wave the amplitude is constant over the plane surface. Okay, so here the uniform plane waves consist of electric field and the magnetic field, and this wave consists of three components, that is related with the x, y and z directions. So but for the uniform plane wave only one component is present and the other remaining two components are 0. Okay, this is the very important point for the uniform plane wave. So to study the uniform plane waves, we must know some important parameters. In that, the first point is a propagation constant. So for a lossy medium, the wave equation in terms of E bar and H bar are as follows. If we write in terms of E bar, then it is given by del square E bar is equal to j omega mu in bracket sigma plus j omega epsilon into E bar, and for H bar, the wave equation becomes del square H bar is equal to j omega mu in bracket sigma plus j omega epsilon into H bar. So here this sigma is nothing but the conductivity and epsilon is the permittivity. So here denote the term this sigma plus j omega epsilon by r square. So the equation becomes del square E is equal to, this whole term can be write as r square, that is r square into, and the E bar is as it is, and the del square H bar is equal to r square into H bar. So here this r is nothing but the complex number and it is called as propagation constant. So this r is a complex number, so that's why it can be expressed as r is equal to alpha plus j into beta. This alpha is nothing but the real part and j is the imaginary part. Okay, so if we see the significance of this propagation constant, then we can say the propagation constant has a real part, that is alpha, and it is a attenuation constant, and the imaginary part is beta, it is a phase shift. So the propagation constant signifies that the amplitude of wave is attenuated and the phase of wave is changed. Okay, the next constant is the attenuation constant. So we have this equation, that is R is equal to alpha plus j into beta, and the real part of the propagation constant is nothing but alpha, which is nothing but attenuation constant. It indicates that the amount by which a wave is attenuated in the medium. So it is measured in Napier per meter, that is NP per meter, and the another unit is decibel, that is dB. So if we see the significance of attenuation constant, then it signifies that the amplitude of wave is attenuated, that is decreased, when it passes through the lossy medium. Next point is the phase constant. So here again one imaginary part of propagation constant is there, which is called as phase constant. It is denoted by beta, and it is measured in radian per meter, that is radian per meter. So if we see again the significance of this phase constant, then it again signifies that when the wave is propagating through lossy medium, then phase of a wave changes continuously. That means we can say the propagation constant is the simply the combination of attenuation constant, that is alpha, and the phase constant. In next point, let us see how to solve numericals based on uniform plane wave. So there is one question, a 9375 megahertz uniform plane wave is propagating in polyethylene with epsilon r is equal to 2.26, mu r is equal to 1. If the amplitude of electric field intensity is 500 volt per meter and the material is assumed to be lossless, find first point is phase constant, second wavelength, third velocity, fourth intrinsic impedance, and last propagation constant. Okay, so here the first step is we have to write the given data, that is epsilon r is equal to 2.26, mu r is equal to 1. Here the medium is lossless, hence we have to take the value of this sigma is equal to 0, and the first parameter we have to calculate here the phase constant. So for lossless medium, note down the phase constant formula, that is beta is equal to omega in bracket mu into epsilon. We know the value of this omega, that is 2 pi f, and the value of frequency is given, that is 9375 megahertz. So we can write omega is equal to 2 pi into the value of f is 9375 into mega means 10 raised to power 6 hertz. In bracket, the value of mu 0 is constant, that is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 into the value of mu r is given, that is equal to 1, into again the value of this epsilon 0 is constant, having value 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12, and the value of epsilon r is given, that is 2.56. Okay, so here if we simplify this equation, then we will get the answer beta is equal to, that is the phase constant after calculation, beta is equal to 314.373 radian per meter is the value of the first parameter, that is phase constant. Next point is we have to calculate the wavelength. So for this we know that the wavelength is equal to lambda, that is equal to 2 pi by beta. The value of this 2 pi is 2 into 3.14, and we have already calculated the value of this beta, that is 314.373 radian per meter. So after putting all these values in this formula, we will get the value of lambda is equal to 0.02 meter. Next point is velocity. So if we want to calculate the velocity of lossless medium, then we have to use this formula, v is equal to 1 upon under root mu into epsilon, which is equal to 1 upon under root the value of this mu is equal to mu into mu 0 into mu r. This is mu 0 into mu r, and the value of this epsilon is equal to epsilon 0 into epsilon r. So we have to put the value of mu 0 mu r as well as epsilon 0 epsilon r. The value of mu 0 is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7, mu r is given, that is equal to 1. Then epsilon is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 and the value of epsilon r is 2.56. So after calculation, we'll get V is equal to 1.874 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. This is our third parameter, that is velocity. Then next point is we have to calculate intrinsic impedance. So for that we have to use this formula, eta is equal to under root of mu upon epsilon. The value of mu is mu 0 mu r, that is equal to under root of 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 into 1 divided by the value of this epsilon is epsilon 0 into epsilon r, that is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 into 2.56. So we'll get the value of this intrinsic impedance, that is eta is equal to 235.459 ohm. Okay, and the last point is propagation constant. We know that the propagation constant is the combination of alpha and beta, that is real part as well as the imaginary part. So we can write propagation constant is equal to alpha plus j beta. The value of alpha is 0 because the medium is lossless, so hence it is considered as a 0, plus j as it is, and the value of beta is 314.373. So it is equal to j into 314.373 per meter. So this is the value of propagation constant. So in this way, using these formulae, we can calculate first point, that is phase constant, then wavelength, velocity, intrinsic impedance and the propagation constant. Okay. So this is all about our today's session. I hope you will like and enjoy. We will stop here with motivational quote. Today's motivational quote for you is, the best project you will ever work on is you. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.